Alright, football fans, the dust is settling from the 2025 NFL Draft, and while there were many stories, perhaps none was more discussed, debated, and frankly, shocking, than the unprecedented fall of quarterback Shedeur Sanders. Projected by many as a potential first-round pick, Shedeur tumbled all the way down to the 5th round, eventually selected 144th overall by the Cleveland Browns. This kind of slide for such a high-profile player immediately sparked a crucial question. Why did it happen? Was it purely about talent evaluation? Or were other, perhaps more complex, factors at play? The severity of his fall shocked even those who were already critical of his on-field game at the next level. One former NFL general manager, who had watched Shedeur extensively and was skeptical of him as a cornerstone quarterback, was left in disbelief when Sanders fell out of the 3rd round, commenting that it seems personal. This sentiment suggests something beyond just what was seen on tape might have significantly impacted his draft stock. To understand some of the potential underlying reasons, it's worth looking back at a broader conversation that's been happening in NFL circles regarding recent trends among college prospects. There's been a growing trend of major college stars choosing to decline participation in various parts of the pre-draft process, skipping combine workouts, opting out of bowl games, or limiting their participation in pro days. A little over a year ago, an AFC general manager described this as the arrival of the opt-out generation. This trend has led to differing opinions among NFL decision-makers. To some, it's seen as a troubling new norm, an example of players not taking the pre-draft process seriously, perhaps even interpreted as arrogance. One high-ranking executive complained that every step has been eroded over time. It's the new normal, the arrogance of it all, and it's only going to get worse. On the other hand, some executives are more diplomatic, suggesting players are simply taking power into their own hands, refusing to do things that could potentially hurt their stock, or not wanting to be overexposed. There was, however, a thread of common agreement among those executives when it came to an elite, undeniable talent like Marvin Harrison Jr., who declined to participate in most of the pre-draft process, including workouts or speaking to media. It didn't seem to matter. He still went 4th overall, proving that truly elite talent can dictate terms. But the common agreement was also this: someday, another player is going to do everything his way in the pre-draft process. And it's going to bite him. Watching Shedeur Sanders fall, it was hard not to think about those conversations and wonder if he became that someday player. While pure talent evaluation was certainly part of the equation, some evaluators simply believed his football skills, while good, weren't transcendent enough to be a top prospect at the next level. His significant slide appears to be the result of a cocktail of factors. A combination of things that varied in weight for each NFL franchise evaluating him. Based on conversations with league sources and analysts, that cocktail likely included the pre-draft process approach. For some teams, Shedeur's decision to completely check out of participating in combine workouts was seen as a mistake, perhaps indicating a lack of understanding of how teams gather information or an unwillingness to compete in every scenario. Interviews and personality. Whispers persisted that his interviews with some teams did not go well. Concerns reportedly arose about how he carried himself, his preparedness to handle tough questions or curveballs, or a perceived sense of arrogance by some evaluators. These went beyond just football evaluation. Distraction potential. If teams felt, for whatever reason, that his presence, his celebrity status as Deion Sanders' son, or the surrounding media circus could be a potential distraction, that would make them hesitant, especially if his talent wasn't seen as overwhelmingly elite to offset that. Deion Sanders' influence. The fact that his football career was guided at seemingly every step by his father is a unique dynamic that cannot be ignored. How teams perceived that relationship and its potential impact on Shedeur's transition to an independent NFL environment likely played a role for some. Agent situation. The lack of strong agent guidance early in the process or an agent effectively working to stop his fall during the draft itself might also have been a factor. Ultimately, for a variety of reasons that were likely distinctly personal to each franchise's assessment, Teams across the league either found enough reasons to pass on Shedeur Sanders or were simply never fully convinced during the pre-draft process that they should invest a high pick in him. While this happens every year with some players, it is amplified and becomes a major story when it occurs with someone as high-profile as Shedeur Sanders, who also had a strong college resume of success. This entire saga serves as a crucial lesson for future NFL prospects, particularly those who are not viewed as flawless. Generational talents like a Marvin Harrison Jr. Evaluators who spoke about Shedeur's fall highlighted a common theme. The pre-draft process matters a lot when you are an imperfect prospect or already have a deep base of critics. Skipping workouts, fumbling interviews, or appearing unprepared can inflate existing doubts and lead to being removed from draft boards or suffering a significant slide. Shedeur Sanders, unfortunately, appears to have become the prime model of the message that teams desperately try to convey to prospects every year. You can choose to do the pre-draft process your way, rather than their way, but for a variety of complex reasons, some related to talent, others to perception and approach, it could end up costing you. And in Shedeur Sanders' case, for that cocktail of factors, it appears it did cost him a much higher draft slot. His journey to prove teams wrong, and perhaps address some of the concerns that led to his fall, is just beginning in Cleveland. Alright, let's talk about one of the most surprising and debated storylines from the NFL draft weekend, the significant slide of quarterback Shedeur Sanders, who many expected to go much earlier but wasn't selected until the 5th round by the Cleveland Browns. This dramatic fall has led to a lot of discussion about why it happened and what lessons can be learned. Sanders' tumble reignited a debate within the NFL about the pre-draft process itself. Some in the league view certain prospects' decisions to skip workouts or limit interactions as a sign of arrogance or a troubling new trend. As one executive put it, quote, "The arrogance of it all." Others are more diplomatic, seeing it as players being protective or avoiding overexposure. While for truly elite talents, like Marvin Harrison Jr., doing things their way didn't hurt them. The belief has always been that for others, it could come at a cost. When it comes to Shedeur Sanders, according to the article, there's no single reason for his fall, but his approach to the pre-draft process is seen as a contributing factor. Reports indicated some teams had concerns about how his interviews went or how he carried himself. Skipping events like the NFL Combine workouts meant fewer chances for teams to evaluate him directly compared to others. There were also perceptions related to his career being guided by his father, Deion Sanders, and even the potential cost of not having an agent to help navigate the process or mitigate a slide early on. Publicized anonymous comments from league sources criticizing his approach certainly didn't help, highlighting that some teams had concerns beyond just his on-field play. While some evaluators still saw him as a higher-round talent, the combination of factors meant many teams found reasons to pass on him. The key takeaway, according to the analysis, is that for prospects who aren't viewed as perfect or who already have critics, the pre-draft process really matters. Fumbling interviews, skipping opportunities to impress, or giving teams any reason for doubt can inflate concerns and lead to a significant slide. In Shedeur Sanders' case, for a variety of reasons unique to how each team evaluated him, his approach seems to have ultimately cost him draft position. It serves as a stark lesson for future prospects. While you can certainly do things your way in the high-stakes NFL draft, it can sometimes come with unexpected and costly consequences.